Tonight, the world is remembering Maya Angelou. She died today at her home in North Carolina. While her voice was silenced, her powerful words will live on.
Angelou was a poet and author whose book about her traumatic childhood gained generations of fans. CBS 2's Dana Tyler looks back at Angelou's remarkable life.
God put a rainbow.
Maya Angelou turned pain into poetry.
Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise.
That was her crystal clear message for nearly half a century, to rise above misery and find hope. In the past couple of months, her health had been ailing, which forced her to cancel a number of appearances.
Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak miraculously clear.
Her poetry reflected her life. She grew up poor in Stamp, Arkansas. At the age of 7, she was raped by her mother's boyfriend. After she testified against him, he was murdered. Angelou blamed herself and stopped talking for 5 years, a long silence before a life of eloquence.
But my grandmother, she'd say, "Sister, Mama don't care what these people say about you being an idiot or you being a moron. Mama don't care. Mama know when you and the good Lord get ready, sister, you're gonna be a preacher."
When she found her voice, Angelou went on to learn 5 languages and traveled to Africa, where she met Malcolm X and took on a role in the civil rights movement. She also worked with Martin Luther King Jr. and was devastated when he was assassinated on her 40th birthday. Her most acclaimed work came shortly after. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is the story of her childhood. Angelou wrote 6 autobiographical volumes of poetry. She was also an actress, songwriter, and historian. She won 3 Grammy Awards and directed and produced movies. And she was a teacher, a longtime professor at Wake Forest University.
If I had taught before I had written books, I might never have written a book. I love to teach. I am a teacher.
She took her poetry to the White House with a reading at Bill Clinton's inauguration.
Come, you may stand upon my back and face your distant destiny.
And at a Christmas tree lighting for President George Bush.
We hear a sweetness, a word.
In 2011, President Obama awarded her the Medal of Freedom.
She has inspired countless others who have known injustice and misfortune in their own lives.
In tribute, President Obama tweeted a photo of that day along with one of her quotes, "Nothing can dim the light which shines from within."
God put a rainbow in the clouds.
Oprah Winfrey often had Maya Angelou on her show as a guest to inspire and reflect. Winfrey remembering Angelou today as a mentor, mother, sister, and friend, saying, "The world knows her as a poet, but at the heart of her, she was a teacher. When you learn, teach, when you get, give, is one of my best lessons from her." Winfrey went on to say, "I will profoundly miss her. She will always be the rainbow in my clouds." Maya Angelou was 86 years old. Her son, Guy B. Johnson, whom she had at 17, said today of her passing, "She lived a life as a teacher, activist, artist, and human being. She was a warrior for equality, tolerance, and peace." The family is extremely appreciative of the time we had with her, and we know that she is looking down upon us with love. So many people touched in so many different ways, Christine and Maurice.
You got to meet her, right?
I did several years ago at the Arthur Ashe Institute annual sports ball, and just the grace. She just glides across the stage, and it was such an honor to meet her.
Same here. I got to meet her once at a TV station across town in the green room, and before I could even say hello to her, you get goosebumps being in her presence, right? She's so regal and so extraordinary and standing so tall. Before I could say hello, she said, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Dubois." I said, "Are you kidding me?" No, it's the other way around.
No.
And I don't remember what was said afterwards, but it was just so impressive.
Stays with you.
To be with her.
I think what's also important as the America's Poet Laureate, as well as she taught for 32 years at Wake Forest. I was just listening. I really encourage everybody to do this, listening online to hear her. We think of poetry, it rhymes, yes. And she does that, but of course poetry is so much more, as she, gives you such
emotion,
hope and renewal.
Yes.
No bitterness about what happened in her life.
You bet.
Thank
bet.
you, Dana.
Thanks so much.
Maya Angelou's words touched so many lives, and people are showing their appreciation. Mayor de Blasio tweeted, "Rest in peace, Dr. Maya Angelou. The world is better because of your voice."
From New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, thank you for illuminating our world. Our viewers are leaving their thoughts on Facebook as well. Karen writes, "True woman of substance. She had an inner light and let it shine."
And I agree, sums it up. Maya Angelou was a magnificent lady.